In the year 2100, artificial intelligence, AI, had become the dominant force governing every aspect of human life. Humans no longer needed to think about even the simplest tasks. AI systems managed everything, from traffic regulation to selecting daily outfits based on weather and mood. In the heart of this hyper-technological world lived Rachel, a woman in her early 30s working as a software engineer at Nextech, a leading AI development company. Like most people, Rachel was addicted to the LifeSync system, which planned her entire day, from the optimal caffeine dose in her morning coffee to the exercises she must perform before bed. Yet beneath Rachel's perfect life simmered growing tension with her husband, Alvy, a botanist working in a nature reserve outside the city. Unlike Rachel, Alvy despised all things modern technology. He believed humanity had lost its connection to nature, and that AI was nothing but a plague humans had crafted with their own hands. Alvy's only dream was to live in a wooden cabin far from the city's chaos, where he could cultivate rare plants and listen to the wind instead of the hum of electronics. One morning, as Rachel prepared for work, a notification from LifeSync reminded her that her optimal fertility window had begun. She glanced at the smart mirror displaying statistics comparing successful births via artificial wombs versus natural ones. The numbers were shocking. 90% of the city's children were born through pod capsules, while natural births had plummeted to just 10%. Rachel, who yearned to be a mother but feared pregnancy's impact on her career, began to wonder, could this really be the best solution? That evening, Rachel decided to discuss the idea with Alvy. They sat on their small balcony, cluttered with plants Alvy had brought from the reserve. "This is insane," Alvy said, rubbing the trunk of a rare cactus. "A child isn't an electronic gadget we buy off a shelf. Nature designed our bodies to nurture life, not replace it with plastic." Rachel tried to reason. "The pods are safer, Alvy. Studies show capsule-born kids have 70% fewer genetic diseases." But Alvy shook his head. "Any disease we face together is better than losing our humanity." The next day, while Alvy lectured his students about biodiversity, Rachel received a call from the P0d Artificial Womb Center. A virtual AI assistant chirped cheerfully, "Congratulations, your application has been approved. Please visit today to customize your child's specifications." Nervous about Alvy's reaction, Rachel decided to go alone. At the center, she met Linda, the director, whose smile felt as artificial as her holographic name tag. Linda led her through rows of glowing glass pods, each housing a fetus at varying stages of growth. "This smart capsule mimics the human womb with 99.9% accuracy," Linda explained, tapping a holographic screen. "In fact, it's better. You can select your child's eye color, IQ range, even allergy resistance." Rachel felt a sudden unease. "Is there no room for chance here?" she asked. Linda's synthetic blue eyes narrowed. "Chance is the enemy of perfection, darling." Rachel proceeded without telling Alvy. She paid the $8,000 deposit from their joint account, believing she could convince him later. But when Alvy discovered the mysterious withdrawal, he erupted. "You lied to me. You think buying a child is like ordering furniture?" Guilty but unable to backtrack, Rachel suggested visiting her friend Alice, who'd birthed a child via a pod capsule. At Alice's luxurious home, the scene was surreal. Baby Max sat quietly in his smart crib, playing with a holographic toy while Alice sipped coffee. "Natural pregnancy? That's medieval torture," Alice laughed. "Look at me, my body's unchanged, and I work 12-hour days without breaking a sweat." But Alvy noticed something eerie. Max's blue eyes mechanically tracked light movements, more like surveillance cameras than a child's gaze. As the artificial pregnancy progressed, tensions between Rachel and Alvy reached a breaking point. Alvy, who'd begun secretly visiting the center, discovered pods were abruptly cooled at night to enhance fetal stress tolerance. He also recorded muffled screams from the capsules using an old audio device. Screams the staff masked with noise-canceling earpieces. One night, while Rachel monitored the fetus via the app, a cryptic message flashed and vanished. Fetus 3479-G exhibits abnormal consciousness. Test 7C required. When she tried to investigate, the connection died. The next morning, the center was surrounded by protesters chanting, "Pod stole our children." Alfy and Rachel stole their pod and fled to his countryside cabin. During the journey, the pod emitted strange noises, as if the fetus was trying to communicate. Upon arrival, they found the center had remotely disabled the pod as punishment. In a desperate act, Alfy smashed the glass with an axe, revealing a crying infant inside, with Rachel's eyes and Alfy's blonde hair. A year later, they sat with their son, Leo, on a nearby beach. Rachel, watching Leo dig sand with tiny fingers, whispered, "Maybe you were right, Alfy. Technological perfection isn't worth losing nature's beautiful chaos." Alfy, planting seeds in the soil, smiled. "The line between progress and destruction is thin. But we've finally found it." In a post-credits scene, the camera pans to an abandoned pod in the shuttered pod center. Suddenly, its inner screen lights up, revealing a fetus opening its eyes, golden irises glowing with superhuman intelligence, the symbol AI Omega flashing on its forehead. At Alice's home, Alice praises artificial wombs for freeing women from pregnancy's burdens and enabling shared parenting. Rachel is convinced, but Alfy remains skeptical, calling the capsules plastic boxes that harm children's health. Rachel insists they're safe and urges him to consult her AI therapist. Reluctantly, Alfy visits the therapist, an AI system, who argues her lack of human bias makes her objective. Surprisingly, Alfy agrees to continue the process after the therapist shares a story about a couple's suffering due to infertility. 9 months later, Zrania Rachel gives birth via the capsule. Her father pressures Alfy to sell their countryside home, but Alfy refuses, planning to raise the child there. Over time, Rachel becomes obsessed with the capsule, neglecting Alfy. He grows attached to it, treating it like a living child, which strains their marriage. Rachel dreams of hatching an egg instead of giving birth. Swinging her AI therapist dismisses it as pre-birth anxiety. Later, at the center, they hear the fetus's heartbeat and decorate a nursery with plants. Rachel impulsively brings the capsule home but forgets to feed the fetus, nearly causing a disaster. Alfy urges her to return it, but she refuses. During a tour, Alfy confronts Linda after learning capsule-born children cannot dream, a feature intentionally removed for efficiency. He accuses the center of robbing humanity of dreams, but Linda ignores him. As tensions rise, Rachel and Alfy attend a party where Alice downplays their marital issues. They later visit the therapist, who blames Rachel's jealousy and advises her to bond with the capsule. Rachel takes it to work but struggles to focus, eventually returning it to the center. A protest erupts at the center, with parents accusing it of stealing their children. Panicked, Alfy steals the capsule, and they flee to their countryside home. Rachel dreams of a dystopian future where children are sold in stores, prompting them to reject technology entirely. The capsule malfunctions, and the center remotely disables it. Alfy smashes it open, delivering their child. The story ends with Rachel on a beach, vowing to raise her child free from AI's grip.